Ooh, and we're back. Quite a trippy little jingle there we got.
Yeah, and the song that reminds me of Mrs. Doubtfire again. Her strutting down with her makeup on and a brand new bag.
Absolutely. So we're just talking about New Year. What did you get up to?
Well, it was it was it was a stressful period because we was meant to be going to one club, and a couple of us got some tickets, and the other lot didn't, and we sorted the transpo out, but yet the tickets were sold out, so we had to sell them on. And went to a place called it's a chain. It's called Liquid's nightclub. I did tell a lot of people, and people did. The initial reaction was, "Oh, okay."
Do you wear a Burberry hat?
Well, I thought it would be Trav Central. I thought I would go there. There was walking traffic cones. There was girls that were so orange, I had to dodge around them because I thought there was like a slippery patch on the floor. And I thought that there was more makeup in there than Max Factor. But it was okay. I mean, once you're drunk, you get past that, don't you? And it was a really good night. We went in there and there was a guy, probably stole it from Halfords, was riding about on a bike and doing stunts and tricks and stuff, which was quite good. I wish if it was during later on in the night, we could sort of got really drunk and sort of joined him and sort of pushed him off the bike. And then eventually people came on, and then there was people. And then them things that you like a chainsaw, not a chainsaw, but it's like
like an angle grinder.
It's like angle grinding, and it had all the sparks going.
Yeah, I've been in a club before, and they have him just sawing different materials, and the sparks going in the crowd. Yeah. Great. And
but it doesn't. I was looking, and they're all sort of getting in them sparks, and it was going into the crowd. Doesn't it burn? Doesn't it sort of give you?
You think so? That's what I was worried about. Health and safety is what I was concerned about.
I know. But there's just people sort of diving in the sparks, and then about 12 o'clock, a dancing Elvis Presley and two Marilyn Monroes were next to him, and that was pretty good. And then. It was a really good night, actually. It was a really, really good night. I think I didn't get as drunk as I expected to because I was running out of money, and it was to get a drink was a massive queue, and the drinks, I think it was like sort of like £5.80 just for a single Southern Comfort and Coke.
Oh, that's brutal.
It's really expensive. I believe that you had a really exciting time. Tell us about what you did.
It was well good, yeah. Well, I knew a few people up north in Scotland, and obviously Edinburgh's Hogmanay for New Year.
Lovely.
It was great. We went up there. It was amazing. They had in the streets on Prince's Street, which is like this mile-long road, they had all sort of like massive cranes with flaming stuff hanging off them, so you could walk through all of that. And then we bought these tickets and we actually got to go in the festival. And they got the big countdown and then the fireworks behind the castle, which was amazing. And then we got to see Madness live. Did a bit of baggy trousers at midnight.
Oh my god, that must have been absolutely incredible. I mean, I even though they're quite cheesy.
Yeah, they've had. I know what you mean.
Absolutely love them.
I wouldn't have paid to see Madness, if you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't seek out, but they are good. I do love them.
I mean, I would have paid if it was like 50 quid. Then no, but I would pay to see them because I actually like them a lot. I'm sure maybe we could sort of find the track which we could put on later on in the show if we have it on the system here.
Sure, yeah, see if we find a Madness song. I'll tell you something funny though. Because I flew up there, it takes like 45 minutes. I was at Luton Airport, and if you fly EasyJet, there's speedy boarding, which means you pay £15 more and you get on the plane first.
Oh, right.
Right, this is even worse. At Luton Airport, they now have speedy security. So you go in, and you know how you queue through security? You go through the metal detectors and the bags are checked and stuff.
They leave it out, so you could have bombs,
well,
guns.
Not quite that bad, but you go to the back, behind the queues, these machines, and you put in £3 and you get a token, and you get to go in a special priority queue that takes you to the front of security. So I queued, it was about a 45-minute queue, which just zigzagged all the way through this room, got to the very front, and they let people in front who had paid £3 each. They must have made it. For every, do you think 10 people go through, they make 30 quid for nothing. Oh, I just hate it. It's one of those things.
It's like a money. I can't believe that. So I thought when you said that, they just wouldn't.
Speedy
they wouldn't check.
It's one of those things where now airports are just becoming a joke. I mean, you print your ticket online.
I know. I did.
You don't put any baggage in the hold anymore. You know what I mean?
I know. It's just like, I mean, with EasyJet, I mean, what I do sometimes, I've looked at prices just to fly sort of local areas. I'm in Madrid, And you think, oh, remarkable, £12, and whack on the tax, they whack on service charge,
the fee,
and it comes to about £100 and something. And then I heard, I'm not sure if it's true, but I did read an article about they're now going to start charging to use the toilet.
Yeah, I heard that apparently on Ryanair are putting in this thing against this law that means that really short haul flights, the plane might not have a toilet on it, so that they can put in extra seating.
You're being serious. You're being serious. My bladder. I can't sometimes resist 20 minutes, but honestly, I can't.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, they're gonna knock a toilet down to fit about another 10, 20 seats.
I know, it's crazy the amount of money grabbing that goes on. And the thing is, when you're on there, the little doily things over the backs of the seats that sort of stop you putting all your lice everywhere. Those have now got adverts sewn onto them.
Sort of Pringles and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that, like Lucasade shot adverts, and everywhere, all over inside the overhead compartments have now got adverts in there. So when you're putting your bag in there, you look in and you're like, oh yeah, I might have a Snickers. Oh, it's ridiculous.
They should, if it's going to be for like the head bit, they should have sort of head lice cream or something, or sort of anti-dandruff shampoo or something. That's more relevant than a Snickers bar, really.
I remember getting a flight that landed. It landed at like 4 a.m, so it's like 2 a.m, and you got on it at like 11. Do you know what I mean? So you're in no mood, and throughout the entire flight, they kept trying to sell us these raffle tickets.
Do you know one thing that drives me absolutely mad on the aircraft is when you're sitting, because when you're sort of everyone's been on a long haul flight, you've been sitting there for about 20 hours, or you've been sitting there for like 18 hours, and you're waiting to get off, and all the first class get off first, and then everyone sort of stands up,
and for like 20 minutes,
and then if you're stuck in your seat, you're sort of standing, sort of like hunchback of Notre Dame, because it's where the overhead lockers are. And where all the lights are, it's sort of arched, and it's sort of curved, and you're standing there, and your neck is killing. All the muscles, you can feel sort of all the muscles sort of starting to break in your back, and it's just awful.
I hate it because at every stage you're queuing, like you queue through the security, and you think, yes, I'm first through security, but then there's another queue to get on the plane, and there's another queue on the tarmac. And if you fly EasyJet, they made us wait on the tarmac.
The worst thing is, I was in America. I was going to America, and we got our bags, and then we would like line up for ages to get our bags, and then we got them. We had to put them through another security one. So we had one of them, put it through, got it, put it through another one, and then again had to wait again.
Oh man, I remember flying Monarch Airlines, which is like it makes EasyJet look like BA, right? I mean, the planes have barely got any wings on them. And we went down the little steps out of the departure onto the tarmac, right? And the woman who was leading us, like one of the Monarch steward people, said, now everyone turn around. Everyone turned around. And the reason was because the plane was so close, the engine was facing us.
Oh
so
my God.
They turned it on, and this like burning hot air, like you could just feel it burning your back like, as we were standing there. And then they waited for the plane to reverse.
It's just like, can you imagine? You just look round and the back of your top is just scorched and gone.
You can just imagine that one kid that didn't turn around on fire.
Exactly. And I hate the way what really scares me is when they ask people to sort of balance the weight.
Yeah.
And they sort of say, "Excuse me, sir, because you're quite heavily built, too many pies, can we ask you to go on the front row?" And he's thinking, well, if one fat person's going to dominate how the plane's going to take off, God help us.
I know.
And they sort of just crash and sort of crumble to oblivion, sort of just be some sand left of us.
It does worry me. It is scary flying with those companies.
It does. And then, with all
and you can hear the engines struggling as they're taking off because they haven't been refueled in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, so you can hear, and then you can hear like all the sort of where they put all the suitcases. They're sort of wobbling, and sort of the latch will just let go and let free, and your bags will go everywhere. The doors will fly off. You would get sucked out through the propellers like a blender.
That's what I love is when you get to baggage reclaim, and some of the bags going around, it's busted open, broken, shattered clothes.
I love the back. It's just duct tape round the bags, brown duct tape. Just
great. And the ones that have been opened for security, someone just crowbarred the lock open and just sorted through it. It's great.
Another thing I like is when people try and sort of make their bags really sort of visible, and the things they put on, I've seen.
Yeah, they like wrap scarves around them.
One of them I saw, one of them sort of really shivered up sort of African faces you put on the back of your door. It had that whole family hanging off them. They had the mum and the dad and the kids and the nieces and stuff, and it was like all these African faces. People sort of like put stickers over it like it's a sticker book. People like they do random stuff, they slash it open themselves so there's like a big gash in it. stuff like that. No, I don't really do that. But I love it, as you said, it's sort of like, sorry, we had to empty your bags, crowbarred lock,
Yeah.
duct tape, holes, clothes scattered along the conveyor belt. And you get like the weird boxes and it's really strange things. Once I saw a massive, gigantic SpongeBob going around the conveyor belt with Patrick attached to him.